Hey guys. Okay, I want to talk really quickly about the post I posted a couple of days ago about not just identifying your feelings and naming them intellectually, but moving beyond that and actually allowing them to move all the way through you and actually feeling the feeling. And this is how we truly heal through feelings. It's not just about naming them or even where they came from or the source of them. So sometimes you don't even need to know those things. You don't even need to have the cognitive understanding of that. It really can be just maybe you feel it, the tightness in your throat or the lump in your throat or the nauseated stomach and just upset, loss of appetite, things like that, or even gut issues and things like that, or tightness in your chest sometimes, or aching in your back. I used to get pinched nerves all the time. That was my body talking to me. There's a feeling that needs to be addressed here. And so what that is, feelings are just your inner self, your inner child saying, hey, so I got something I need to be acknowledged here and recognized, and just make sure you're paying attention and like looking out for me. So a lot of times we have been taught, oh, you have a big emotion, whether it's anger or frustration or even excitement. As a child, it's like, whoa, calm down, get yourself together so you can be appropriate for this space or other adults or whatever. And so we're kind of conditioned to control our feelings and box them in and make them more appealing and acceptable for other people to kind of be around in that space. So understand that that's why it's difficult for the majority of our society to actually feel a feeling all the way through. So, and that's okay. It's just, good to be aware that that's the starting point. So next time you feel triggered or off or funky or confused or whatever the feeling may be that you're like, like lean into that initial, what was that? Or, ooh, I don't know if I like that. Whatever. Lean into that. It's super important to not say, oh, well, I'll get over it. It's not that big a deal. I just gotta go. I gotta finish this work. I gotta go eat this. I gotta go take care of my kids, whatever. And if you do need to do those things, just make a mental note. I'm gonna come back to that later and really hold space for myself to be able to move through that feeling completely. So then when you do get your quiet time, your space just to yourself, where you're going to be uninterrupted for a few minutes. And a lot of times this does not take hours. It's not like an exorcism or anything. The first few times I did this, I think it took like maybe 7 minutes, 5 minutes, something like that, which I was like, this works wonderfully for my timeline and all my planning. So, and it's not always that way. You want to allow yourself as much time and space as you need, but it really doesn't have to be this grand, extravagant, big deal. So what you do is you just take that feeling, and again, we want to move from our head to our heart. We want to drop from here and understanding, oh, that came from this, and my parents used to do that, or when I was 6, this happened, da-da-da. That's all good stuff to know later. When you're feeling the feeling, you want to move from here to here, and you want to just really say, I am inviting and welcoming this feeling in, and just sit with it. And I close my eyes. Sometimes I get under my heavy blanket and I just sit there. I usually have my hand over my heart and my womb, and it is uncomfortable, and it should be. It's like those difficult feelings are what we're trained to immediately get out of. We're not trained or conditioned to sit with those feelings, and so it's like, ugh, I don't want to do that. Let me be happy again. Let me look at the bright side. Let me find the positive in this, and things like that. That's not what we're doing right now. We are really welcoming this feeling and making space for it to move all the way through our body. And so you just sit with it for a few minutes, and you're like, oh gosh, okay, so I'm going to talk about what happened to me yesterday. I was just feeling lonely. I was just feeling off for like 2 days. I was like, ugh, I don't want to talk. I don't really want to be around people, but I kind of do want to be around people, and I miss everyone, but I have everyone. I was feeling a little bit of grief and just sadness, and I miss my friends, but like I'm still talking to my friends. And then I'm like, I don't know, I think I just feel lonely. And instead of reaching for my phone to fill it with my friends or other people, I shut everything off and I spent time alone and I just showed up for myself. And I started off by sitting with that feeling and just saying, oh, yeah, I really, oh, yep, that's so uncomfortable. And I do not like to be lonely. And that's, yeah, sometimes I feel very alone in the world. I think we all do at different points, and that's a very normal feeling. So I sat with it for a few minutes and I felt it, I'm like kind of squirmy and ugh, I don't like it. And it's never comfortable, okay? But I'm getting used to this kind of discomfort. It moves through you and you'll feel it. You'll feel like the little reprieve and release after it's kind of had its space inside of you. And that's when the real healing work can come after that. And that's when you show up for yourself. That's what I always talk about. Pay attention, listen, lean in, commit to yourself. This is what I'm talking about. So you have that feeling of like whatever it is, loneliness, anger, grief, sadness, rejection, abandonment, whatever it is. And you meet yourself there. And this is what a lot of people call reparenting. And you say to yourself, it's just, you can say it out loud or just whisper it in your head, whatever. And just be like, oh man, I see you. I hear you. I'm paying attention now. I'm committed. You're not alone. You're normal. You're safe here to feel. I'm listening. I couldn't fix my loneliness yesterday and the day before, but I'm committed to myself. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep listening and paying attention. And so that's all I could kind of give myself in that moment. And I just sat there and I did a little bit of breath work and just stayed in that quiet, safe space for a few minutes. And then I got about my day and I did some yoga and drank some tea and whatever. Did a little bit of self-care. And that's fine. And it didn't really change immediately. I still felt like a little off, but I knew I showed up for myself. So I knew that deposit would pay off. And then today I woke up, my day has been 100% better than the last 2 days when I was kind of feeling that cloud over me. So, and not to say that it'll always be that quickly or in that timeline. That's not really the point. The point is you are making a habit of showing up for yourself and saying, I'm listening, I'm paying attention, I'm making space, and I'm showing up and recommitting and committing to this process and this work. And so I'll elaborate more on that. Let me know if you have any questions. This is like phase 1 of feeling all the feels and feeling to your healing. So I hope you guys can go and do your own work now. Okay, let me know how it goes. Bye.